Hi guys, it's Dory. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am here today. It's been quite some time since I gave an update. Oh, my hair is a mess. It is also not my normal day. My day normally is on Monday. Today is a Saturday, but the kids were on school vacation last week. I have a lot to catch you guys up on. But let me start with my stats. I do want to say welcome to all the new subscribers that I have. I actually am going to start doing more cook with me videos, more keto type things, more paleo. I fluctuate back and forth between all different kinds of eating habits, and it just keeps my body losing weight on this adventure slash journey. So let me start with my stats. My name is Dory. I am 47 years old, 5'4" tall, and on September 12th of 2016, I had vertical sleeve gastrectomy weight loss surgery with Dr. Darren Tischler from Hartford, Connecticut, from Hartford Hospital. My highest recorded weight ever was 350 pounds. That was around 2011-ish, if I had to guess. I lost some weight after that, and then I lost weight on my pre-op diet. So day of surgery, my weight was 300.5. The lowest I've seen, my goal was 160. I got down to 156.3. I'm aiming to get right back down there again. My new goal that I set is going to be 150 pounds. I have been fluctuating up the last 2 weeks, probably about the last week and a half. As you guys remember, I did an egg fast video with the wonderful Erica from Time to Shrink. And I got some good results. I think they could have been better if I had eaten less per day, but it was still good. And on that egg fast, I had gotten down to 163, I believe it was. And but you know, after the egg fast and the last couple weeks, I have been in a I'll call it a funk slash depressive state. I know what's brought it on, and I'm trying to get out of it. I'm not fully out of it yet, but I'm getting there. So this morning I weighed in at 168. So I'm almost to 170. I thought for sure I was going to hit 170 this morning because I have been on this kick with popcorn at night. But it's not so much the popcorn, it's the amount of times I'm eating per day. So I know enough that over 3 years, almost 3.5 years post-op, I know what to do to get myself back into the game. It's not a big deal. This is not regain. It's not somewhere where I sit. I bounce all over when I go through emotional things or when I kind of fall off the bandwagon here. And so I know what to do. I know what my body needs. And I know for me, what works is intermittent fasting and only eating 2 meals a day and not snacking all day. And so I have been snacking. I've been very emotional. So this past week, we'll go back a little over a week. So this past week, my kids were all on school vacation. And as you guys know, I have my niece in our home for 7 months now. So that would add to my other 4 kids. And so at home, I have a 12-year-old, an 11-year-old, a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 5-year-old. They're all girls except for my 8-year-old son, Ethan, who is home. I have 2 older children, Daniel, who is my oldest. He's 29, married. He's a pharmacy tech, and his wife is a pharmacist. And my youngest daughter, well, from my first marriage, my oldest daughter, but youngest in those 2, she's 25 and she is a teacher, a preschool teacher. So Friday, I don't even know what date it was. Oh, the 14th, Valentine's Day. The kids, all the 3 younger kids who are in elementary school, had a half a day coming into a full week off from school. And so that week I had finished out my step bet, which I know I have talked to you tons of times before about. And so I was doing that. I was doing the step bet or whatever, and I was going ahead and finishing that out, which I did finish, which was fantastic. I finished with almost 210 miles within the 6 weeks, which was great. I definitely like mall walking. I'm going to continue mall walking, and so that was great. That was the end of that day. So then the weekend came. It's all a blur, honestly, because that's Sunday the 16th, we had a baby shower. So here's where the happiness is. So in this whole midst of everything, I had a baby shower for my son and daughter-in-law who are expecting my first grandbaby, March 31st, a little girl, Catherine Elizabeth with a K. And so that was great. The day before the shower, however, my son informs me, actually, my son didn't even inform me, his stepmom, so my first husband's wife, who had surgery like I did just not too long ago, maybe 2 years ago, a year and a half. We get along fantastic. She has been an amazing stepmom to my older children since they were really, really little. My current husband has been in their life since my daughter was 7. I want to say 7, and my son was 11. And so, and now they're 29, 25. So in any event, she informs me, you know, she can't wait to see me at the shower, but then she warns me that my ex-husband's going to be there. So I contacted my son and said, what is your dad going to be there for? And he said, oh, well, we opened it up to men as well. So that brought up a lot of ill feelings on my part because my husband was not invited. Not that he wasn't invited, he just wasn't told. And they didn't even think to tell him. And I don't know why, but so there were men there. But because we had such short notice that they opened it up to some men. And of course they wanted him there. My son said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to tell Chris. I'm, you know, please have him there. But we couldn't. We have other children. And then my niece got sick, and so she had a bad cold, and so she would have to have somebody that stayed with her even if we all decided to go to the shower, which my son said, you know, bring everybody, even little Victoria, they'll have a fun time. But we opted not to go, all of us to go. And so there was a lot of craziness the day before, and I didn't even want to go, actually, after that. I just felt like I didn't want to be in the same room as my ex-husband. I did not want him. Not that I can't handle myself, but his hands go places they should never go. And so I don't want him around me. He makes me very, very anxious. And I've had him to my home before with my husband, and I've had him and his wife and his 2 daughters, and they love my family. And I have always shown them Jesus's love, and I've always shown them mercy and compassion and kindness, and that's why his wife and I are so close to this day. And so, fast forward, that was the day before, and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. And it wasn't even like in the morning before, it was like toward the end of the evening, and like 12 hours time in between. And so I went. It was a great time. She got such great gifts. I ended up buying this humongous, she had it on her registry. It's like a huge pack and play that goes into like this little tiny like crib thing, and then it goes into a dressing table, and then it also converts into a pack and play for when the baby is older. And so I got her that, and that was wonderful. And so we all had a great time. I got to see my family and her family, and it was all great. Then that same day, my older daughter, who I picked up, brought her. We correspond every day. I take her dogs out. She tells me after the shower, via text, she goes, hey, Mimi, which is my grandma name I picked. My husband will be Pappy. He wanted Pappy. Give him Pappy. So it's Mimi and Pappy. And I said, yes. And she goes, I didn't want to ruin their surprise, and I didn't want to rain on their parade or, you know, take any of their thunder away, but I'm also expecting. So boom, Mimi times 2. So she is 15 weeks. Wednesday she had turned 15 weeks, so she's about 15 and a half weeks. Pregnant, doesn't know what she's having. She is going to she's going to have her gender ultrasound in April, and then she will have a gender reveal party with fireworks or whatever she's planning. She's a planner like me, but she's driving me crazy because she is planning like things way off into it, and you know, crazy. But I'm trying to be supportive and all of that. That was Sunday. Monday, my husband had off Monday because it was a holiday. So we're all home, we're having fun time. He takes my niece was still sick in her room, and he takes the little kids to the park. All of a sudden he rushes home and he is in excruciating pain. So I'm trying to figure out what's wrong. He said he's not sure. I told him, I said, it sounds like a kidney stone. You have a kidney stone, all of a sudden horrible pain. He can't take it. He can't breathe. He can't move. So I asked him if he wants an ambulance, and he said no, but I can't drive. So I start looking around for someone, and it was at 5:30 in the evening. So I text my daughter, who I just told you all about her, just told you we were just at the shower the day before. I told you, you know, every day I'm going to take her dogs and put them out to the, you know, let them go to the bathroom and feed them and get them treats, and I treat, you know, them so kindly and all this. So I say to her, hey, Chris needs to go to the hospital, which is only about 5 minutes from here. Just drop him off, please. Her text back to me, Miss Selfish, is, no, I literally just laid down. Are you kidding me? 5:30 in the afternoon. So I told her, I said, I cannot believe that you just said that. I said, I cannot believe that you will not take him. He is in dire need, and this is an emergency, and you will not take him. That was it. So I sent messages to a bunch of people who are really close to us at our church. I love our church family. I've been there 22 years. They are amazing. So I sent off a message, and somebody, a friend of ours who lives up the street, he was on his way with his family to dinner. He canceled his dinner plans to turn around and get my husband and bring him to the hospital. So he dropped him off, and then another friend who we're very close to from church ate dinner and then went off to the hospital and waited in the waiting room for him until midnight, just to ensure that he had a ride home and a ride to get his scripts. So yes, he ended up having kidney stones. He had one that was lodged that showed on a CAT scan. So they gave him, you know, the usual medication for pain that also dilates the ureter to help it pass. They gave him the hydrocodone plus acetaminophen, whatever, narcotics. And then they gave him, there was another one. I want to say it is something also to do with dilation of something. So I sent him home for that. That turned into just making sure I was getting him his water, and I was making him drink like 150 ounces of water every day. Push the water, pee every 5 minutes. And so he must have passed it because he's back to his normal self, but it took all week. So he was out of work all week from Tuesday through Friday. Then today's Saturday. He has tomorrow off, normally on the weekends. And then Monday they end up having off anyway. So Monday morning he has to go for a follow-up at 7 a.m. and then get a doctor's note plus the hospital notes and all his scripts to bring to his to the base, because of course being out so long they want some documentation. So that's fine. So today that was great. We had the shower, that's done. We had the week of vacation. We're already on Saturday. We are on the home stretch. All you parents out there, you are with me. We are on the home stretch. And then, so we will have Sunday off. Monday, my husband's home. The kids go to school, so we're going to have a date Monday during the day together. And then I'll do, the week. We're purchasing a second car, so my husband starts nights for a month in March, and he is going to need a car and, a car going to and from work. So that was this week. As far as me being down, I don't know exactly what it is. I do know that having my niece here was not what I thought it would be. I don't know what exactly I thought. I just knew that when I heard she was taken away from her mother, and then she was put with her grandmother, her maternal grandmother, and then taken from her, I knew that I was kind of her last resort. So I just went on into mommy mode. Mama bear rescue mode. So I went and got her, and now they're in the point of custody where they took the custody away from her mom, and now she's going into a guardianship situation. Now, up until a couple months ago, I really was waiting that I would just do the guardianship, and I would have her here for 6 years until she turns 18. But I honestly can't do it anymore. I have struggled with this. I know I have been honest with you guys on this channel, but I'm actually forfeiting my own mental health to keep her here in our house. It's not that she's a bad kid at all. She's only 12. She acts like she's 16. Not in a bad way, just that she's just known to be in survival. She has a lot of trauma. She probably has PTSD. We have her in therapy. I attend therapy with her. We're working on getting her a trauma counselor who specializes in what she's went through, but they have a waiting list. But what she has done to the other children in the house, especially my daughter who is 11 and goes to school with her, she's starting to do things that are irreparable, which is my daughter has a friend, and I'm going to apologize. There's a cat at my door, and she knows that I'm in here with the door locked, and she thinks if she meows long enough, I'm going to open it. Anyway, so she has a best friend who lives across the street, and my daughter ended up having strep throat a couple weeks ago and was out of school for a couple of days. And during that time, they walked to school together, my niece, my daughter, and her best friend. And so then my niece ended up becoming friends with her now and kind of stole her away from my daughter. My daughter is devastated because what happened was my daughter has been at our church in the preteen ministry and going through the whole Kids Kingdom ministry at church with the same friends her whole life. And she's had these friends her whole entire life. And then my niece comes in, and she's a likable person, and she's new, and she's fun, and she's, everyone likes her. She's relatable. And so now my daughter walks into class or to church, and these same people who are her friends walk right past her and make a beeline to my niece. And it's hurt my daughter tremendously. But now that my niece has basically stolen her best friend, my niece has told her things, and they have confided in each other, and they've talked about my daughter behind her back, and they've gone back, and they've stayed after school together while my daughter walks home by herself, and all this stuff, so much so that they somehow convinced her best friend's mom, who was a friend of mine, that I've said some things about her or whatever the case may be. But these two children, they're only 11 and 12 years old, have turned the family upside down in regards to the best friend across the street. And so her mom will not talk to me. My daughter talks to her friend now, and they were planning a sleepover this week, and she's just given my daughter the runaround. And there's so much that my niece wants from me that I just cannot provide. I can't do it. I told her social worker yesterday, I don't know that anybody can understand this, but when I was little, when I was having children, I always said I would have an even number of children because they pair off together. When you're in a group of 3, even 5, one is bored. You're in a group of 3, someone picks on or is left out. You're in a group of 5, one's ultimately hurt. There's too much. And so I had my first 2 children, and I had my next 4, and it's been normal in our home. And now we've added a 5th, and I can't do it. I don't have it in me. And the more that I pretend I can be super mom and superhero and do everything that she needs me to do, is the more that my mental health is suffering, to a point that I don't want to be here anymore. So I told my husband yesterday, I've never suffered with depression, ever. Never in my whole entire life. For 47 years have I suffered with depression. Never even thought about it. Always a happy-go-lucky person. Always, always my glass is half full, not half empty. And for the first honeymoon period of her being here, I could handle it all. Come at me, I'll do it. But when she's threatening my daughter, or she wants me to provide things to her that I do my own kids, like she wants to cuddle with me. She's the same height as me. She's 5'4". She's tall. She's slim. She's got a 16-year-old body. Like she wants to cuddle with me. I didn't bond with her for 12 years. I don't know how to just take her and hold her. I can do it to a point, but I can't do it like I do my own children. And that's what she wants me to do, and I can't. And it's just hurting the whole relationship, and it's just hurting everything within our family. And when we were leaving church on Wednesday night, they're walking out together, and my daughter was trying to get her to come with me to get home because of course my husband was sick, and so I had all 5 kids, and they just got out of class, and I'm trying to get, my daughter's trying to get her to get to the car, and she's pulling her arm a little or pushing her or something, and my niece pushes her back, and before you know it, they're tuffling around or whatever. And then my niece looks at my daughter, and said to her, if you do that again, I'm gonna punch you something, or you just wait, I'll do whatever. And I just looked at her and said, if you touch her, I will flatten you. I don't know how else to tell you, but you will never put a hand on the children. You just won't do it. And if I have to, I'll flatten you right out. Like, don't try me, because I'll do it. And I've told her this before, that she can't threaten. No matter what, all she has to do is say to me, Auntie, Isabella is doing X, Y, and Z, or Auntie, Mariah is bothering me, or Auntie, can you help me? Anything, but she doesn't. She doesn't help. She doesn't tell me. My other kids tell me, hey, Emily's doing X, Y, and Z. Emily's doing X, Y, and Z. And I come to the rescue and I settle it. But if you don't give me the opportunity and you take into your own hands and you use your anger problem to square things around, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to tell you, but I'll lay you out. That's just it. I will lay you out. And so that was Wednesday, and that was church. And so I just can't do it anymore. And I had told them that I would do it until June, until she finishes this school year. I can't do it. I can't do it until then. I don't know what I'm going to be like for 4 more months. My husband is leaving on July 1st. If I let her stay till the end of school, that gives me about 4 days to put my house back to order before the kids have to say goodbye to their dad for a couple months. I just can't do it that long. So I informed them yesterday, I just need them to find her a place. And as sad as that is, and I don't know where she's going to end up going, it just can't be here. I don't know what else to say. I can't sacrifice. My kids can't be without a mother. And at this point, this week, I just wanted to curl up and sit in a corner somewhere. I just wanted to, to go away. I didn't want to be here. And that has never been me. Never. I'm thankful my husband was here with me all week. Although he did have the stones, he was still helpful, and he wasn't just laying around. Yeah. So that was my week. I know next week is going to be better, and I know it gets better from here on out. The kids are back to school, and we have things that we're looking forward to doing, and I'm going to know that God is going to take care of Emily. I just have to know that in my heart, that I tried, I did everything I can. I'm going to be asking around. I feel like I'm rehoming a dog, honestly. Like, I feel dumb for even saying it, but I am going to ask around at church to families who have older children who are moving out or at college, or one child or no children, if they would be willing to help and take her. But that's kind of it for now. I know I've been rambling. It's been 25 minutes, but I know people have asked where I've been, and I want you guys to know I'm okay. I'm going to be fine. I have an amazing family. I have an amazing husband. My kids love me to death, and I'm going to do everything I can to put our lives back to the way that it was before the last 7 months happened. When she does move out, I mean, I'm going to do it. It's going to be fine. I have plans already for moving rooms around and having the kids have new bunk beds and designing rooms and all that. And this year, God willing, we're going to be moving into a home, into our own house. But for now, guys, I want you to know I'm okay. I really am. If I wasn't, I would be sounding the horn, which is what I did yesterday. I just told my husband and the social worker and whoever else would listen that I'm done. I just can't do it anymore. But I know enough, and I'm sensible enough to know when to say that it's done, and it's done. And so it's going to be great. The transition will not be so great, but we don't know when that is. It could be in a week, it could be in a month, it could be in 3 months. I don't know. But we're going to continue trudging forward. If you guys can just keep us in your prayers, keep my niece in your prayers. Her name is Emily. That would be great. I do have some meal prep to talk about, but I'm going to make that on a separate video. For now, I love you guys. Thanks so much for the support, and I'll see you soon.